Example number 9. This is a lick I call, or a technique I call doubling up on the pull-offs. And Buddy Guy would do this a lot in the first position blues box. And this is just one example from the song called Stone Crazy in the key of D. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll play one lick and then I'll break it down for you. So what I'm doing here, let me play it again. What I'm doing is this pull-off, hammer-on pull-off type thing. Like that. And you hear Buddy Guy use that quite a bit when he's playing these fill licks over the first position blues box. This one that I have tabbed out for you, I'm starting it out on the 10th fret of the 3rd string to the 11th fret. Like that. So I go here, and one time I go from the 13th to the 10th fret on the 2nd string. Then right away I go back to it to get that pull-off, hammer-on pull-off thing. That last part of the lick, there's like numerous variations that he uses to come out of that. Sometimes he even doubling up on the hammer-on pull-off. He might play something like this. So that's a good technique to just mess around with. In the key of C, see how many different ways you can incorporate that into a fill lick or even a solo lick. So one more time, the key when I was listening to this was getting the fact that he plays it straight from the 13th to the 10th one time before he goes into that faster lick. Check out the song Stone Crazy. It's like a 7-minute song, and he plays that lick in a lot of different ways throughout. So that's example number 9. That's from the tune called Stone Crazy. Hammer-ons and pull-offs in the first position blues box. Example number 10 is a pretty simple idea, but it's one that you don't hear a lot of electric blues guitar players use in the 60s and the late 50s. And Buddy Guy had no problem throwing in double stops, bending double stops on the 2nd and 3rd strings. This is something you typically heard like Chuck Berry or other rock and roll guitar players do, maybe Mickey Baker. But what I'm going to do is something simple like this. I'll just play it for you. This is from a tune called My Time After a While. It's in the key of B flat. And sometimes he plays it in so many different ways, it's hard for me to pick one to tab out for you. I just tabbed out a simple example. The gist of the whole lick is you're bending, like if you're playing in B flat, a lot of times you'll bend the 3rd string. Now we're bending both the 3rd and the 2nd string. And he's also bending, releasing, bending, releasing. Kind of like that. It's something like you hear Jimi Hendrix do a little bit later. Jimi Hendrix always said he liked Buddy Guy's playing. Out of all the electric bluesmen, Buddy Guy was his favorite. And you hear a lot of Buddy Guy, early Buddy Guy, and Jimi Hendrix is playing. Not that I'm a huge Hendrix fan or anything, but I've read that. So in the key of B flat, we just find the 3rd string, and then we're going to double up the 2nd string. I put my first finger on the 6th fret to anchor it. And you can come out of that with any lick in the first position blues box in B flat. So you're playing a single string. You can toss in that double stop bend that's really kind of neat. Listen to My Time After a While, and you'll hear him use this kind of thing throughout the song in many different ways, but that's the gist of what he's doing. So that's Buddy Guy idea number 10. Example number 11 is just kind of a quick fill lick that you hear Buddy Guy throw in quite a few of his early recordings. This particular example is from the song Stone Crazy in the key of D. And as a fill lick, he'll just play something like this. And what I'm doing is starting it out, bending on the second string, and then putting a little vibrato into that, and then right away doing a quick hammer-on pull-off lick on the first string to the second string. So the whole thing, I'm bending 13th fret of the second string, 4-fingered bend, and then right here, I'm starting it, you can start it on the 10th fret, and we're going to the 13th fret of the first string, back to the 10th, and then winding up on the 13th fret of the second string. Or you can cut it short and end it on the 13th fret of the second string. A lot of different variations on that, but he plays this quite a bit. Listen to Stone Crazy. That's where I got that particular example from, but you'll hear him do this in a lot of different tunes. Just a quick lick, quick fill, nothing too long. So that's example number 11. Examples number 12 and 13 are basically the same lick, just played in a couple different ways. And the first example that I'm going to show you, example number 12, this is from the song that Buddy Guy did with Junior Wells called Vietcong Blues. This is probably the latest example of the ones I'm showing you here. I don't know if this was on Chess, I don't think it was. It may have been on Delmark or one of those other Chicago blues labels. In the song, which is a long song, Buddy Guy just plays all kinds of tremendous fills behind Junior Wells' singing. And one of them is one of my favorites. It's kind of hard to play, and it goes something like this. It's a really fast pull-off. And what I'm doing is, here's my first position blues box. The song's in A. I'm going to my second position blues box, and I'm playing this note, the 11th fret of the first string, hammering on to the 10th fret and then pulling off to the 8th. And then we're winding up on the 10th fret of the second string. Pretty difficult to play. Just keep doing it over and over again and you get the hang of it. It's really a neat lick. In this case, I'm playing it over the second position blues box, but you can use this kind of lick in different ways, and you hear Buddy Guy doing this. In another song, Broken Hearted Blues, he plays a little fill lick. This is in the key of D. Goes something like this. And he's doing really the same thing. But this time we're playing it over the first position blues box, so I'm pulling off from the 13th to the 12th to the 10th. And then we're coming back to the 12th fret of the first string, 12th fret of the second string. Just a quick little fill. Kind of neat. I have both these ideas tabbed out for you. What I do trying to learn this, and I'm still working on it, is just play it over and over again until you get it. I'm just downstroking and then upstroking on the second string with my right hand. And then another variation, which you can play over the first position blues box in Worried Mind, or what's the other? Stick Around is the other title for the song in the key of C. In the solo, I think it is, he plays something like this. He does a quick little run over the first position blues box on the first string, 11, 10, 8. And then he moves over to the second string. And plays something else. So that same idea. He does this in many different ways. So when I listened to early Buddy Guy, that's one of the things I heard, and I thought, wow, I want to play that. That is cool. My advice is listen to Vietcong Blues. That is the one where he really plays that lick a number of different times. And also you can hear it, sort of an abbreviated version of that, in Broken Hearted Blues and Stick Around. So those are examples number 12 and number 13. A couple more to go. Example number 14 is a lick I really only hear Buddy Guy doing in one song, which is Let Me Love You Baby, and it's in the key of G. So we're moving to a different key. And in the intro to the song, he plays this really cool double stop bend lick. It goes something like this. And I just love that lick. And he just plays it a few times and then doesn't come back to it in the song, which is too bad. What I'm doing, I've got my first finger, we're in the first position blues box on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. I'm sorry, 2nd string, 3rd fret. And then I'm taking my 2nd and 3rd fingers on the 4th and 5th frets of the 3rd string and bending it up. This kind of lick, you hear people do. Gatemouth Brown used that one quite a bit. Otis Rush even, I think. I'm trying to remember, maybe not Otis Rush, but it's a fairly common Chicago blues type thing. The difference here is that I'm staccato picking the 3rd string. So when I bend that 3rd string up, I'm holding the bend and picking, and then releasing it. Listen to the opening guitar riff, the intro for Let Me Love You Baby, and you'll hear him use this. I just think it's a cool idea, and you can use this in a solo. You could play this as a fill. You could do all kinds of things with that. I just always have liked that lick. So that's number 14. The very last Buddy Guy idea is just one that came to mind. I like when he plays in the first position blues box. Buddy Guy was influenced a lot by T-Bone Walker, at least it appears so to me. I hear Buddy Guy play some of T-Bone Walker's songs, like T-Bone Shuffle, and you hear Buddy Guy using a lot of the same techniques as T-Bone Walker did. The difference is Buddy Guy goes outside the first position blues box a lot more. In the first position blues box, he does a lot of these what I call rakes, and this is something T-Bone Walker did too. So this is from the tune Stone Crazy in the key of D. It goes something like this. And what I'm doing here is starting it out with a bend on the 3rd string, which I'm putting vibrato into, and then that lick right there, I'm just dragging the pick straight down, and I'm keeping that, what basically is a partial D position, F-shaped D, just using my 1st finger on the 10th fret, 1st and 2nd strings, my 2nd finger on the 13th fret of the 3rd string. And if you mute the strings a little bit with your right hand palm down here by the bridge, you can get all kinds of different tones and sounds out of that. So this particular lick from Stone Crazy, he starts out with the bend and plays something like, that's just one example. I think that's what I have tabbed out for you. One more time, I'll try to play it slow. Do something like that. Lots of different things. I have the exact lick tabbed out for you. You can follow that or just play around with it. But that little thing, T-Bone Walker, if he was playing in G, that kind of thing. That's what you're shooting for. Freddie King did those kinds of things too. So there are 15 different ideas that I've picked up from Buddy Guy's early recordings. Most of those were from his chess recordings. Vietcong Blues, I think, was recorded a little bit later, mid-60s. I think 1966 is when that came out. You guys who are especially getting started into this kind of blues, hopefully, blues guitar, hopefully I've given you some ideas, some things you can play. If you really want to play like early Buddy Guy, listen to the recordings, and then maybe what I've taught you here can help you figure some things out. There's so many others. Buddy Guy's got so many great licks. Eventually, I want to do an Udemy series on his playing and go through a lot more. But for now, maybe this will help you out. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. This is my signature licks lesson for October through December 2020. I'll be back probably in February or March, and we'll take a look at another guitar player, and I'll show you some of the other things that I've stolen from them, licks that I've picked up. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, and I'll see you soon.